What's going on, everybody? Uh, here I am. Here we are. The very first episode of What They Don't See, a sub series presented by We the Outsiders to really get in depth, to really get personal. I feel like we get personal on the pod, but it's a space for individuals to narrate just kind of what we go through, what we went through, what God has brought us through, how we navigated it. And I mean, go through as we went through it. Um, Nobody's journey is pretty. Nobody's journey is perfect. And as we have amazing conversations on the podcast, I feel like this is a space for individually for us to dive a little deeper from personal perspectives, dive a little deeper from just our lens and get into the story and narrate the story ourselves to you specifically. It's a visual diary. It's a reflection. It's a testimony. It's something where not only we could always look back on, but those of you who see yourselves in the stories we share, for y'all to be able to look back on somebody else similar to you or somebody else that you could pull from their story, how they did it or that they did it, and it can be inspiration and motivation to you and what you got going on today. Um, what I'm talking about today is how my second marathon, my second half marathon, I got to put the half on that baby. Now it's still respect. Still respect. Hey, tread lightly. Don't. It's still respect because that 13 miles is not no hoe. You got to respect it. You have to respect it. And, but my second one was the hardest thing I ever did in my life, bro. The hardest thing I ever did in my life. I've been trying to unpack it, and I honestly feel like still I don't have the words. I still feel like I'm going to miss something. I still feel like I may not do the best job at articulating what I want people to understand about this experience, because I think running in itself is a very misunderstood space, or everybody would do it. And this is coming from a sprinter. Matter of fact, I got I got some jewelry over there that I could have pulled over here as well, where I could show you I was a sprinter and got busy, but I never seen myself being a distance runner ever. I used to talk crazy about the distance runners. I used to swear I was never going to do it. Matter of fact, it's a funny story. Me and uh, we played football together. For those who don't know, I was a strong safety. He was free safety, and football, physical sport, competitive sport, and so it just never stopped. We both was grinding for the league after high school and after college for real, and we was training up at Bexley one day doing sprints. Doing sprints. I got something in my eye, man. We was doing sprints and I was cooking, bro. I was cooking, bro. Winning every sprint. I was winning every sprint. But it wasn't just to race each other. It was really to get faster. And after like the third or fourth, maybe the fifth, I don't remember how many it was. Hey, you can tell the people. I ain't putting no gas on it. But he's like, man, come on, let's run 400s. Let's do some distance. Let's race to some distance. You don't want nothing in the distance. I'm like, man, hey man, line back up, bro. I ain't trying to hear none of that. come get smoked. Line back up. Um, I just never wanted distance, man. I never wanted distance. But fast forward, here I am. About to choke myself. But here I am, man. Two of them things. 2025, 13.1 miles. 2026, 13.1 miles. And man, somebody was to ask me, I would have never guessed it. I'd have never guessed it, man. But yeah, my second one was the hardest one I've ever had to do for multiple reasons, man. I went through every emotion. I'm talking physically, mentally, spiritually, emotionally, every emotion, every emotion. But if I'm being honest, man, I'll rewind. I did my first one last year off the whim. I was thinking about it. I had some family that was doing it. And ultimately, I ended up popping out. I'm like, man, I'm going to do it too. Did it, completed it. And I remember it being hard. I do remember it being challenging. I remember being able to barely walk afterwards. I got to hold the medals. They gonna cling the whole time, man, you know. 2 half marathon problems. But I remember it being hard. I remember being able to barely walk afterwards. I remember my knee hurting, my feet like blistered up, knotted up, just because I had the wrong shoes on. But I finished, and I say around 3 hours because when the race first started last year, I was recording the Nike Run Club. I hit the half marathon thing, and I didn't know they was gonna try to talk to me the whole time. So I stopped that like 2-3 minutes in, and then started just a regular record my run, and that was like 2 hours 56 minutes, and then the other one was like 2 minutes, almost 3 minutes. So I just always say around 3 hours. Um, but yeah, I do remember it was physically hard last year. I do remember it was an experience last year. I do, but this year's was the hardest ever, ever. Hardest thing, not just run. Hardest thing I've ever had to do ever was this year. Um, and I don't remember it being nowhere near this hard, man. And it's crazy to say that because I was floating, just like kind of on a high. Now, granted, I didn't smash the half marathon last year, so I don't even know where the high came from. But as far as like, let's do it again, let's woo woo. Um, I mean, but I finished and I got this big medal, so maybe that was what was helping that momentum. But I'm like, man, I'm about to invite some of the bros. They out there doing miles. I done did miles with a couple of the bros already, 2, 3 miles, 4 miles sometimes, 5 miles sometimes. I'm like, man, hey man, let's get a medal for this. Let's do something. Let's push ourselves. And so everybody I invited, man, for the most part, was like, I'm in. There's a couple people that was like, nah, bro, hell nah, I ain't, you know what I'm saying? That ain't me. I ain't woo, woo, woo. But for the most part, a lot of people that I asked tapped in. I asked over 20 people. Now remember that. I asked over 20 bros, hey, tap in with me. Let's do something hard together. Let's share a finish line together. I did it last year. I didn't prepare for it. You can do it. That was my speech. I did it last year. Did no preparing. I had the wrong shoes. I didn't train for it. We can train together. Let's knock this out. We can do something hard together. Choose your hard. I heard this. I heard that quote. Choose your hard, or life gonna choose your hard for you. Made sense to me. I'm like, I'm telling everybody, let's do it. So people committing, and so I created a group me. It was like, all right, we locked in. This the half marathon, the quarter marathon, even the 5K. I didn't tell nobody about the 5K, but I'm like, they can do anything. Let's get a medal today. Let's get a medal that day. Um, and so I had bros tapped in with me, man, and that honestly gave me another false sense of confidence. Yeah, I call it false sense of confidence. Just because I'm like, man, I'm gonna have better shoes this year. I'm gonna train this year. I got bros with me. I finished it last year with none of those things. It's gonna be a great year. It's gonna be easy. Not easy, but it's gonna be way more. I'll be good. Nah, hardest thing I ever did in my life. Um, but that's why I started it. That's why I said I wanted to do it. It sounded like a good idea in the moment. Shoot. And we start training, man. I mean, we linked up and had one session. I started training. But if you tapped into the last episode of the pod, that was episode 16. The last episode of the pod before this is released, episode 16. And I was saying, though, even while I was training, I was doing things. I did an 8 mile run by myself. I did a couple 5 mile runs with bro. I did a whole bunch of 3 mile runs by myself. And so my legs felt great. I could run for over an hour. I just felt like my legs was in a great space, and it was all going to come down to my mental. It was all going to come down to my mental. And so months are going by, time is going by, time is ticking. We're getting closer to April. April 25th, 2026 is when this one was. And so as we approach it, I guess it's to be expected. We got people just falling off. Hey, I ain't gonna be able to make it. I got, something going on these same dates, or this going on or that going on, and respect. I don't know the validity of none of that. I don't know if it's an excuse. I don't know if you really got something going on. That ain't even my business. Um, but where it dwindled down to is it was race day. It was five of us. Race day was five of us. And out of that five, two of them was in the corral, and then me, Rich, and Los, we was in, I think, D. A corral I wanted no smoke with. Uh, that's the 4, 5, 6 minute mile. You know what I'm saying? That's a whole different type of running. I wanted no smoke. My whole thought process was I'm gonna start back at a slower pace, and I'm gonna walk down. I'm gonna walk down. And mind you, that method, it was undefeated up until the half marathon. Undefeated. I just did it at the Buckeye 4 miler. Started in a later corral, walked down, did my fastest 5K ever, was cooking, was feeling great, hit the finish line in a full stride, dang near a sprint. Uh, matter of fact, matter of fact, when I came down the tunnel and then you make the circle onto the field, the players were sitting there clapping the hands. And one of the players was like, "Yeah, Unc." Yeah, Unc, I see you, Unc. And I was excited. I was excited, and I was kind of like, dang, I'm Unc. You know what I'm saying? At the same time. But I was moving, bro. And that was my best race ever. Outside of my, high school days, sprint races, that was my best race ever. I'm talking about everything went right. And I didn't have no headphones on. So I was really just like off the vibes. I'm like, oh, man, I can't wait. I don't even need to run no more. I just need to stretch. I'm ready for the half. You know what I'm saying? The half can't get here fast enough. I'm trying to recruit more people. Like, man, just pop out. You good. You did the 4 miler, you good. Come do the half. It's all mental. I'm giving motivational speeches and everything, thinking I'm ready. Um, thinking I'm ready. But man, we get the race day. We get the race day. And I want you to, I want you to just kind of come along the journey with me, bro, because going into it, and yeah, I talked about the race at the Buckeye 4 miler. I talked about my trainings, or what I consider my trainings. But if I'm being honest and I'm looking back on what I was doing, and I felt this in a moment too, and that's what I was getting to. I was talking about on episode 16, where I'm doing stuff, I'm putting in work, I'm putting in miles, and to everybody watching, I don't know if it's everybody, but the people who talking to me from what they see, to the people watching my moves, watching my Strava, um, can see my Nike run, you know what I'm saying, looking at my post, they like, hey, bro, you doing it, man. I see you putting in your work, man. It looks like it's paying off. You looking good. Hey, man, when's the raise? Da-da-da. I got your back. I'm supporting you. What, man? I want to, all of the things. But from my perspective, I always felt like I could do more. I could always get stuck in that space where it's like, and if I just always find myself in a space where what I'm capable of doing and what I'm actually doing are never together. I'm always, I think by habit for real, I'm always in a space where I'm doing just enough. I'm doing just enough to check the box. Maybe just a little more than that. And I feel like I'm a victim of my talent in that space where it's like I've always been the fastest. I've always been one of the hardest workers. I've always been ready to, you know what I'm saying, ready and willing. Always. I always hung my hat on that. And stuff that people had to work their whole lives to do, I could do just fresh off a McDouble and a sweet tea and get busy. And I think that hindered me a lot, bro. I think that stopped me from being as consistent as I could. I think that stopped me from reaching the potential that I could have reached if I was just consistent enough, bro. If I was just consistent enough. Because as I get older, I realize that it's the consistency that really let folks know that they can count on you. You know what I mean? Like, I tell this story to some of the young people, man, and it's a whole different sport, bro. But basketball, my senior season, I didn't even make the team. And it's people who made the team who I felt like I was better than. I ain't gonna get into, speaking like that's facts. Um, but it's people that made the team that I'll say it like this: it's people that made the team that I knew like I could do certain things better than, and that's no knock to any of them. I was extremely athletic, but to be honest, two things. Um, Especially when things get competitive, I didn't have enough experience. One, but that goes into the other problem that I'm talking about. It's because I was never available. The past 2 years, when I was on the teams, halfway through the season, grades came out and I had to get off the team. I never finished a full basketball season, ever, because I was never available to. And so outside of talent or just raw talent, you got experience and you got availability, which I didn't have either of because of my choices. And so that consistency, they're going to pick the person they can count on every time, even if they don't have everything that the person has, or even if they can't do everything that a person can do, they're going to go with the person who they know going to be there because they can build around them. And so I tell you that's high school. That's still something that in certain categories I ain't figured out. And I say I ain't figured out like it's hard. Ah, it is hard for me in certain spaces. Because if you know something and you still don't do it, it's some disconnect there. It's some disconnect there. Uh, Maybe I've been grading my own paper for too long. Uh, Another conversation me and my bro just had. So, but yeah, that's where I'm at, man. So I was doing things where I felt like I could still do more, but people are praising me for what I'm doing. Or I told a story on live with Rondo the other day, like my dad died in the second half of his 30s from congestive heart failure. So some years back, I went vegetarian because I'm like, man, I'm working out. I'm gonna eat different. I'm gonna do everything. I'm gonna put my body in the best position possible because I'm learning from the film that came before me. That's what I'm telling myself. But still, at the same time, I was a vegetarian and weighed more than I weighed before I was a vegetarian because all I'm eating is pizza, Chipotle, spaghetti. Where in my mind, I told myself I'm doing something different, which I was. I told myself I was doing something better, matter of fact. But what I was just doing is something different. Um, so yeah, my thought pattern was in the right direction, but it was low key delusional because it was only like I wasn't really looking at the film. I was just saying a feel good thing. Well, I don't eat that, and then everybody say, "Oh, Tone, how can you? Oh, how can you not eat meat? Or ooh, how can you not?" And there was a whole other time where I wasn't drinking. How can you not drink? How can you not eat meat? Oh. It was like pumping my head up, like, yeah, I can make decisions outside of what y'all got going on, and kind of got caught in that delusional world where I'm doing something different, but not necessarily better. Um, Man, y'all just gotta flow with me as these thoughts just process, because I'm still processing, man, and I'm connecting dots to try to make it all make sense, man. Just about me in general and just about my experience. But I want to be as transparent as possible. I want to try to make it as clear as possible as I'm flushing this thing out, that it's not even it's never about, man, it's so, everything we go through, it's so many different layers in it. And if we honest with ourselves, it's so much we can pull from just the regular stuff we do, let alone the big things like a half marathon or stuff. Like, it's so much we can pull from it, but it's way easier to see, or it's way easier to highlight when you see somebody else's life, um, where they gaps are. We don't never really take the chance to step back and see our own gaps, man. But so yeah, that's where I was at in that space where it's like, man, I'm getting praised for what I am doing, because I actually, what I am doing is work. So I can't say, I can't take away the praise. It was work, um, but I was just capable of so much more, and I felt that on race day. I felt some of those gaps, bro. But so yeah, going into it, I felt pretty good. Even though there was gaps in my training, even though I felt like I could have did more in my training, I did still train. I had better shoes this year. I had a better mindset, and I came out ready to smash. I really did. I came out ready to smash. And man, here we are, race day. Race day. I was with the guys. I'm pulling up. As I'm pulling up, I'm listening to Rain Down on Me. Rain Down on Me. Melody. All right, I ain't gonna sing too much of it because I don't know how that. I don't want to try to, what I'm saying, you need that check from me. But I was listening to that Kirk Franklin, Melodies from Heaven, and I pull up. As soon as I turn the corner, A and his family right there. I'm like, rain down on me. Pull up right next to my brother. So I park right beside them. We walk in together, taking in on the energy. It's vibes. Now, when you get the race day, I don't know if you ever did a race day. When you get to race day, it don't matter if you trained or not. It's electric, bro. And the bigger the race, the bigger the electric, the bigger the electricity. I don't know if that's what, but it's just, bro. It's a feeling in the air. Everybody there to do the same thing you about to do. You're gonna see people you know. You're gonna meet people you don't know. It's electric, bro. And so I'm really feeling good now. I'm boom, walking down the street, vibing, ready, feeling like I'm just ready to ride the momentum into the finish line. Um, get down there, see Reggie. Shout out to Reggie. Boom, I see my man Rich. So me, my man Rich, Reggie, we all together. We trying to find A. Can't find A. Why can't you find A? In Corral A by the front. I wasn't even looking. I wasn't even looking in that direction. So long story short, we couldn't find A. Reggie like, man, I'm about to hop in this corral though anyway. He hop in the back of A. Me and Rich go find Los and we hop in D. Um, Here we are. About to start. Getting warmed up, getting stretched. Gun go off. The corrals move forward because they release it by corral. The corrals move forward. You get to corral D. Boom. We ready. Boom. Bopping, bopping. Gun go off. We get up to the start line. Start the watch. It's on. Rich, we're gonna walk down. Rich. Matter of fact, actually, before it started, I told Rich. I said, brother, let's go back a little. Let's go back a couple more corrals. I feel like corral D is gonna be a little. It's gonna start me off a little too fast. Let's go back a couple more. He like, man, bro, we gonna run our race either way. We gonna run our race. We gonna run our race. He ready. I'm like, all right, all right, all right, all right, all right. And then as we walking up, I'm like, hey man, you don't want to let these people pass us, man. I want let's go back to them other corrals. This one is start like this is when the thinking start going on because I want to go with the plan. He like, nah, we good, bro. We gonna just go at our pace. I'm like, all right, bet. So we start miles 1 through 4. Miles 1 through 4. Smoked them. Miles 1 through 4, I was feeling great. I was feeling miles 1 through 3, I was feeling great. 3 to 4, I was that's I low key start hitting the wall towards the end of 3 going into 4. I start hitting this wall. Um 3 going into 4, I start hitting this wall. We get to 4, we get after 4. I'm all the way at the wall for sure. I stop. I start walking. My body was feeling great. Granted, my body was feeling great. And I'm just picturing it as I'm talking it through. Now, after 4, in between 4 and 5, I don't know exactly where it was, but in between 4 and 5, I definitely stopped. Rich and Los like, hey, come on, bro, come on, come on, come on, start with me, come on, let's go, we got this. All right, bet, come on, start back up. 30 seconds later, nah, hold on, man, I need a minute. Come on, bro, come on. All right, bet, come on. Start up again. 20 seconds later, I need a minute. I needed to get my mind right. I needed to lock back in. So I'm like, bro, just go. Just go. Just go. So they go. And slowly but surely, I stopped seeing that bald head. My brother Rich hair. I just stopped seeing them. They took off on me. And so I'm just left with myself and my thoughts. And if I'm being honest, even hitting the wall around mile 4 crushed me, bro. Remember, I told you, I invited everybody that's here out of the bros, all of them here, off of my invite, off of my talk to, off of my momentum saying, bro, I did this last year, bro. You could do it. We here. We locked in together. All these guys are here. Now I say all these guys. Remember I said I invited over 20. It's 5 of us all together. So it's 4 other guys here with me. But all of them is in front of me. Crush me, bro. And that's my thoughts. I'm thinking, I'm like, bro, I invited all these people out here. This is why I'm walking and thinking this. Body feeling good, but I just hit a wall for some reason, like a mental, I don't know. First thing first, 4 miles in, I got 9 miles left. I got 9 miles left. I ain't did 9 miles not once while I trained for this. But that's how much I got left after I hit the wall. On top of that, I invited all these guys, and the 4 brothers that showed up with me is all in front of me. Remember, A and Reggie is in Corral A, so they been gone. I knew I wasn't gonna see them. Rich and Low started with me, but they in front of me now, and I no longer see them. And so every inferior thought, every doubt thought, everything is in my mind now, bro. You invite cats out here and you behind them, you the last one out of them. This they first half marathon, this your second. All of the thoughts, bro. And I'm in it, bro. And I'm hurting. I'm like, man, it's hitting me. And then I got this app called Rally where people is talking in my ear. People who I sent the link out is talking in my ear. And so by mile 4, I done heard from my daughter. I done heard from a couple other people, my grandma. And it's like, go. My baby said, Dad, you always tell me to do hard things. And this is why I need you to keep going. And it's making me cry, bro, because I'm like, bro, I can't right now. Everybody in front of me, I don't know what's going on. I don't know how I hit this wall so early. I don't know what's going on with me. What was I thinking even inviting people out here? I'm doing a second one. I ain't no runner. I'm all of these thoughts is going through my head. All of these thoughts is going through my head. And so I'm going through this process for the next couple miles. And my thoughts had me. I'm not gonna lie, bro. Every mile was a drag. Every interval, I start doing like 15 seconds run, 15 seconds walk. And I'm every time I start up, it's a drag, bro. It's a drag. And I remember around mile 6 and how it was going, the messages were supposed to come on the miles, but where my tracker was and how the messages was playing, it was playing at like, so my message for mile 6 was playing at like 5.75, a little bit before the mile mark. I get close to mile 6 and my boy A came on. And he like, mind you, he in corral A. He like, bro, this is what we trained for. This is what we talked about. You got this. Do not stop. Do not stop. Whatever you do. And I've been walking the last 2 miles, walking and jogging the last 2 miles. And man, thinking about that message and the message I keep going back to is the very first one with my daughter. She was on mile 1. She wanted to be at the end of it, but somebody took that slot. She was pissed about that too, by the way. That's another thing. Um, but her message kept playing in my head, and so everybody else's message just compiled onto what she had told me. But it was one of those moments where she held that mirror up, and everything that I've been pouring into her when it comes to a space of pushing, she gave back to me. Uh, and so just everything else, every other message compiled. I get to almost 6. I hear my bros like, don't stop. Said a little prayer, started back up. I started trying to do longer runs. And so so mile 1 through 4, like I said, I didn't stop at all, breathe. Not a breeze, but I didn't stop at all. 4 through 8, ooh, I don't even know what to classify it as. But yeah, so I'm in 6, almost 7. I run into Rich and Los again. They hit their wall. I'm like, all right, boom, now we all dogging, but I got a little momentum in me. But I ain't all the way bounced back yet, but I'm better than where I was. And so we start up. Hey, let's jog a mile. Rich like, let's jog a mile and walk, like 10, 15 seconds after each mile. I'm like, bet. We start that up. Uh, Rich took off. Rich took off again. And so me and Lo side by side, man, but I'm still going through it, bro. And it's like every thought that could try to get me to stop was there. Every single thought. And I was listening to, saying, I ain't gonna say I was listening to all of them, but about every 6 or 7 of them, I was like, all right, what you talking about? Stop for a minute. All right, bet. Oh, look, they stopped. All right, you passed them already, and they stopped. So you in front of them. You can stop when you pass them. Like all type of little justifications was going on in my head. So me and Los navigating that. That was that was uh that was 5 through 8. That was I could call it 4 through 8. That whole stretch was crazy. Um, I started feeling it in my right knee, not too much, but enough to notice it. Um, but yeah, I got through that. Get on the back end of that 9 to 13. I say 9 to 11. 9 to 11 is when I built a little more momentum. I start flowing a little better. My runs got a little more consistent. 9 to 13, they got a little more consistent for sure. Um, Rich was back in the fold with us. We all dealing with some type of pain, some type of discomfort. It's a different thing though, bro, to deal with and I can just tell my story, but to hit a wall at mile 4, have 9 miles left, feel like you done at 4, have 9 miles left, and all you sitting there on is a decision you made to keep going. Everything in you telling you to stop, every thought you have and telling you you don't belong here, but you keep going. That is self, bro, is one of the things I feel like that is most transformational about a marathon or a half marathon. Is that it's way deeper than just the physical. I was in a mental battle with myself. So much so I turned off the music was in my way. My music was loud and my thoughts was loud. I had to turn the music off to just kind of navigate what I was thinking. Cause when you out there in a space like that where it's just yourself and what you thinking, that's the only thing that's gonna get you through. My last marathon, that didn't help me not none. My last half marathon, this big medal, that didn't help me not none. That didn't give me, that gave me false momentum. When I got out there trying to lean on this, mile 4 wall, that didn't help me not none, bro. So, and that's another thing with running. It's you can't hang your hat on what you did last time. You got to do that again today. You got to do that again in that moment. You got to choose to do it again today. Not because you did it before. That don't matter. They don't even count. Your legs ain't listening to that. Maybe yours is. My legs wasn't listening to that. That didn't help me. And in my head, I'm thinking like I did this before. I'm gonna be better at it. That didn't help me, bro. And for those, I heard somebody who told me that was gonna help me. I can't remember who said that, or they be getting they. The moment I remember who told me that, bro, they getting a message, because that ain't true. That wasn't true for me. I had to make a decision every step, bro. Left foot, right foot, left foot, right foot, left foot, right foot, left foot, right foot, left foot, right foot. And it wasn't that fast either. That you that's one of the most transformational spaces, bro, for me. As we got to the final couple miles, I had got back into it. I had got back into that mode, and that whole momentum that comes from finishing something, that had kicked in too. I had went through all the dog miles. I had made all my decisions already. I thought everything. I shed some tears. I was in some pain. All of the things are true. And then you see people on the side going out. They don't do nothing but add to it. Like, dang. All you left with is your decision. And so as we get closer to the finish line, I get back into that mode and I kind of just go. I finished ahead of my brothers. That wasn't even on purpose. Um, Looking back, I wish I would have. I wish we could have finished together. But also looking back, I wouldn't have finished nothing else because I had to make a statement to myself. So in that space, I'm kind of torn. But I had to make a statement to myself, for myself, that it don't matter how hard this was. It don't matter how many times you thought about or what you thought about all those times. It don't matter how inferior you felt. It don't matter how unprepared you felt. It don't matter what's hurting. It don't matter how early you hit that wall. You finished. You finished, bro. And so at the end of the race, at the end of all of that adversity, at the end of what I call the hardest thing I've ever had to do, and a lot of the hard came from the way that I seen it. And I was wrong. The way that I thought things were gonna play out, and I was wrong. You gotta respect every race for that race. You gotta respect it. You can't go in thinking, bro, I did this before. Bro, it's gonna smoke you when you do that. You gotta respect every race for that race. Um, and that's one of the things I learned, but I learned it what I feel like is the hard way, bro. Because when you just out there, people passing you left and right, and and when I say people passing you left and right, I'm not talking about folks in shape. You know what I'm saying? That's muscular. That's got the whole get up on the tights, all that. Look like sponsored runners. I'm cool when they pass me. I'm like, they do this. Bro, I had an 80-year-old hit me back. Come on, man, you got this. And watch out, man. Nah, but the 80-year-old, all of 80, he might have been older than 80, moving. For real, I don't even know if bro was moving. He was moving faster than me though. Big people, big boned people. You know what I'm saying? Heavier set people, whatever, however you describe it. But and you know what I'm saying. I'm part of that. I'm part of that community, so can't nobody get offended. You know what I'm saying? But um, just heavier set people passing me, older women, older guys, like moving, bruh. That's defeating too, by the way. That's a whole nother mental thing I gotta work. But running, you can't tell who can do what by their build. That's all. Yeah, that's one of the only sports where the build is low key irrelevant. You can't say, oh yeah, I'm about to. What he doing in this corral? You can't do that. They running is a tricky sport when it comes to the look test. Um, Man, and those full body cramps. I had a cramp from like my hip up to like my lower chest. I don't even know what that means. I never felt that before. It was weird. Felt like my body was like it was like that whole part of my body was like this. I tried to finish. I tried to put a little pep in my step to finish the run across the finish line with a little yeah, you know what I'm saying? Nah, left calf tightened up on me. I had to slow back down a little bit. Okay, because if I didn't, I would have been on the side with the medics. But one of the hardest things I've ever had to do, bro, and it's mainly because of the mental challenge, the mental boxing match. I had to go 12 rounds with my 13.1 rounds with myself, and I came out of that fight. My brother Rich said, "Nah, we won the fight, but we won by like a split decision. We it could have went either way." And I don't think there's a truer statement in that, bro. It tested me. It tested all my brothers, which that was kind of refreshing to hear. It tested all my brothers. Everybody had a story. Everybody talked about their cramps, how out of it they was. I I misplaced the car. I say I parked beside A. I'm looking to bid off them when I get done. They leave. I'm like, bro, where we park at? Walking around downtown trying to find my car for 20 minutes, but I finished, man. I finished. 2025, 2026. Half marathons, 13.1 miles. I think under 4% of people ever sign up for one. And of those people who sign up for one, I think 1% of those people finish the marathon. Something like some crazy stat like that. And I'm blessed enough and I'm fortunate enough to say I did that twice. Um, I was talking to Rondo the other day, and I told him, bro, you got to do one. I'm gonna do another one. Matter of fact, one of my dogs already sent me another half that I'm left. I don't know if I'm quite there yet, but it's already conversation. I'm gonna definitely do another one. Um, but one thing I did tell bro as well is like I get it. For the men who tapped out of it, for whatever reason, I get it. That was one of the hardest things I've ever had to do in my life. I get it, bro. That's the big scary bear, the big scary thing under your bed. That's the thing that you don't want to see. Most people don't, especially if you've never seen yourself doing it. That makes it even more of a impossible. I get it, bro. I do. Especially after that race, I said that multiple times to a lot of the bros. I get it. I get why folks ain't want no part of that. But on the opposite end of that coin, I don't. I if you're not subjecting yourself to something that's gonna show you where your ceiling is, something that's gonna test you to that level, and not even just privately, because then people will say, "Oh, I'm tested. God is tested." Pride, not privately, brother. Respectfully, again, publicly, thousands of people out there, and we out there putting ourselves to the test. What we can do, what we capable of, where our ceiling is, we don't know. We trying to find it. I found mine. I found where it was. That's how I say it. I found where mine was. It's not gonna be there forever. Matter of fact, it's not where it was no more. And I'm gonna continue to put myself in those spaces to just see, man. Because as men, it's a beautiful space of being outside of your comfort zone. It's scary. It's different. You might look silly. It's gonna ask a lot of you. I'm not even gonna lie to you. It's gonna ask a lot of you. Bro, the half marathon I just ran as my second marathon asked for everything from me, bro. Everything I had, it asked for to get across that finish line. Beforehand, I was thinking, man, maybe marathon next. I gotta get a unanimous decision before I move up to a full marathon, man. Like I said, I think I want off a split decision, but I get both sides of it though. I really do. But it's very important to subject yourself to that space, bro, to see, to have those conversations with yourself, to put yourself in an environment that you can be tested, and you don't get to control who sees it. You don't get to control who grades the paper. I'm not talking about you and your wife, you and your girl. I'm not talking about you and your little small circle. I'm talking about put yourself out there. And I'm talking to myself too because I did it in that space, but I haven't did it in other spaces. I did it in that space, but I've been shy or scared or nervous or whatever emotion you want to put there. It's true to me. It's true for me in other spaces. So I ain't talking to you because I ain't you. I'm talking to you because I am you. Do something that you don't know if you can do. Try something that you don't know how it's gonna go. You're gonna learn a lot about yourself. God has been faithful enough, man, to see me through two of those things. And I gotta say that because it was only God. But the lessons that I pulled from it, not just from what doing something hard can do to you, can inspire you to do, can transform you into. But I learned another thing about myself, man. It's that I can do anything, bro. Through Christ, I can do anything, bro. There's nothing I can't do. There's nothing I can't do. And I mean that with everything in me. When you put yourself in a space where all you got is yourself and your thoughts and your feet and everything you brought with yourself, bro, you realize that you can do anything, bro. I hit my wall at mile 4 and had 9 left to go and hit that finish line. You know how many times I thought I would never make it to that finish line? Matter of fact, at mile 4, I'm like, bro, this is about to be a long day. But I did it. I didn't cheat. I didn't take a shortcut. Left foot, right foot. I did it. That's the message in it, bro. Whatever it is that you've been putting off, whatever it is that you've been scared to do, whatever it is that you've been hesitating to do, I want you to know that you can do it. You so busy relying on what you don't know you can do. You so busy being spooked about the unknown. Newsflash. If you knew you could do it, it wouldn't be a challenge. If you knew how it was possible, if you knew how everything was going to go, it wouldn't but what would be the point? What would be the point? Push yourself, do something uncomfortable, get in a space that you've never been in, find something new out about yourself by getting in those hard environments, bro. It's nothing like it. It's the same thing as faith, bro. If you can do it by yourself, what do you need God for? What are you needing for? You can do it. No, bro. No, bro. No, bro. That's a testament to life, though. That's where I'm at with it. For those who get it, get it. For those who don't, man, God bless. But from here on out, here moving forward, man, I'm going to put myself in environments where I got to push. I got to be stretched because I know what comes out on the other side of it. And I'm using this as a declaration or as like a stamp this. You feel what I'm saying? So if I can do it, you can do it. I ain't no different than you. We breathe the same air. We bleed the same. I ain't no different than you. Oh, tone like that. That's one of the misconceptions, bro. You think just because I did it that I'm different now, bro. I am different now, but I'm still human too. Nigga, I show up and second guess myself just like you second guess yourself not to show up. We both second guess ourselves. The only difference is I'm actually doing something with the second guessing. So that's where I'm at, man. That's where I'm at. And that's where I'm at. So I appreciate y'all tapping in with me, man. Very first episode of What They Don't See. And for those of you who like me, for those of you who pull something from this, for those of you who are waiting for permission, I don't know what that was myself. There we go. There go your permission slip. I just signed it. I signed it for me and you. All right. As you watch this, as you get off of this, go do everything that you said you wanted to do and everything that you were scared to say that you wanted to do. Go do it. You don't got to do it by yourself. If it's running, tap in with me. I'll do it. Everything but a fool right now. Everything but a fool. I'm game. I'm eventually get you the fool, and we're gonna be right back here talking about that. But listen, man, God bless. Understand that you can do all things through Christ who strengthens you. All things work together for the good who those who love the Lord. And you know how I go, man. We the outsiders. Tony Palmer. It's been dope. See y'all next time.